Hi everyone, this is Paul here from the Magdalene Centre. Today I'm doing the astrology report for the week commencing the 6th of February. And I'll outlining some of the key aspects and transits taking place this week and giving you an overview of what it all means. Before I do that, I just want to clarify, as I always do, that the astrology doesn't control our lives. It only gives us a framework to help us understand what is unfolding around us, and it helps us recognise what are the key opportunities for growth being presented to us at this time. But it's up to each and every one of us to decide what course of action will allow us to best utilise this energy, making sure that what we're doing enables us to go with the natural flow of things rather than trying to force things to happen outside of natural timing. But it requires us to be willing to take conscious participation in the process. It doesn't just happen automatically. Now, in terms of the aspects this week, I'll begin with the moon as usual. So she starts off in Aquarius, so this is time for looking at how we're connected, our connection with our community and our place within it. But she'll quickly move into Pisces, and this is a time where we may feel that need to embrace spirituality or spend more time in meditation, and it's time for connecting that with that sense of oneness with everything around us. But it's also looking to embrace more love and compassion in how we interact with people, rather than trying to be bullheaded and push ahead for our own cause. On Friday, the moon will be entering Aries, so this is a time for when we may feel that drive to take action, may feel intense desire to start something new or to get the ball rolling with things. And it's a time for kind of being willing to take action rather than just sitting on our laurels. Before on Monday, the moon is going to be in Taurus, so this is a time for kind of slowing down again, for getting in touch with nature, connecting with our bodies, and seeking to embrace the simple things and to appreciate the physical things we have around us. But spending time in nature may be something that we crave, because it helps us to ground and helps us to be more centered in our bodies. Now, in terms of the aspects this week, there's a few of them. It starts on Thursday, so we'll have there's a couple of aspects on Thursday. We have initially Mercury's going to sextile Mars, so this brings us an opportunity to bring the rational mind or our decision-making process into connection with our actions. And with it being a sextile, and Mars is obviously the stronger of the two here by virtue of being in his home sign, but the sextile between Mercury and Mars gives us an opportunity to be more reflective or take a more considered approach to our actions. So with Mercury being in Aquarius, it brings us an opportunity to embrace a more expanded level of perception and to then guide our will and our action, because Mars is that willpower and that drive to make things happen, and it's about taking action. Mercury is more about gathering information, it's about the intellect in general, and it's about the way we communicate, and it's also about assessing information. So with this combination, it gives us an opportunity to be more mindful about the actions that we take and take a more deliberate approach through assessing the information we have, putting it into context with the higher reality around us, which is Aquarius, and then through that deliberation process, consciously choose a course of action that we need to take, and then use self-discipline from Saturn to harness the drive and will of Mars into a course of action, and then use that discipline to maintain that course of action rather than going down side routes. On the same day, we'll have a sextile between the Sun and Jupiter. So Jupiter here is a strong one by virtue of being in his home sign. The Sun is actually quite weak in Aquarius because it's in the sign opposite its natural house. But this aspect here allows us, or brings us, an opportunity to develop greater self-understanding, and it's about, at a high level, it is about expanding the mind without the ego swelling in the process. So it's embracing higher level concepts, it's about recognising natural law and the impact they have and the necessity of working in alignment with them, and it's about moving beyond the narrow-minded thinking of culture and conditioning and embrace a more broad-minded and tolerant perspective. So it's recognising the we're all part of the same tapestry of life. We're all an individual thread of it. If we were all the same colour, then this wouldn't be much of a tapestry to look at. So it's important that we embrace, we acknowledge diversity, where we seek unity at a level that, because there are certain concepts in all cultures that are the same across all of them. So each culture has its own differences, but there's also certain natural laws or certain cultural wisdoms that are the same across all. One of them obviously being all about karma. So it encourages us to treat other people as we would wish to be treated. So this aspect here is about embracing this level of understanding, embracing that generosity of spirit. Also, it's important that boundaries are maintained as well through Saturn Capricorn, because without boundaries, what's there to stop people from taking the piss and manipulating people or using people for their own gain? But it's also important to have a more broad-minded perspective, and we don't just try and tie everyone with the same brush, as it were, or rely on stereotypes to understand people. It's about seeing each person as an individual and not basing our judgment on them on what we've experienced in the past. It's being prepared to see things with fresh eyes. It's being prepared to open our minds up to new experiences or new concepts that are foreign to us but could potentially empower ourselves going forward. And it's through recognising that high level of wisdom and seeking to embody it, so make it a part of who we are, not just a concept in our minds, that we can then radiate that kind of generosity of spirit and that kindness towards all beings, and we can illuminate ourselves through recognising the true self within rather than the conditioned self. Now, we've also got Mercury will be entering Pisces on Sunday, so this is be a time. Mercury normally deals with the left brain, if you like. So it's logic, it's analytical skills, it's about analysing information and fact finding. So it deals with objective or the concrete. But this move into Pisces symbolises the need for the intellect to operate more in a right-brained mentality. So it's moving beyond seeing things as separate categories and seeing that everything is actually interconnected and everything operates at different levels of reality simultaneously. So with Mercury dealing with communication as well, in Pisces it's looking to embrace or imbue our words or the way we communicate with one another, imbue them with love and compassion rather than just cold-minded or a purely mental fashion that doesn't recognise needs of others. So it's an air planet being forced to operate through water, if you like. But with Pisces, it's the cosmic waters, it's the universal waters. And one of the things that will help is recognising that reality cannot be bound by human logic. There are certain things which are seemingly logical to us. There is a certain level of logic to it, but it's not bound by the linear thought patterns that we utilise through human logic. There's a different level of logic at play, because there's an underlying order beneath the apparent chaos with all things, but in order for us to recognise it or to understand it, and for the intellect to glimpse it, if only momentarily, is for us to be willing to embrace the unknown and acknowledge the fact that we don't know everything, to be humble enough to recognise that we don't have all the information, and if we want to learn and grow, if you like, or if we want to expand the mind, we have to embrace a bit of chaos from time to time in order for it to shake up our current level of understanding and now allow new perspectives or new perceptions to come in through the intuition rather than just the rational mind in terms of thoughts. We also have the following day Juno's moving out of Taurus and into Gemini. So this is with Juno being about the soulmate asteroid and our relationship needs, if you like. With Juno moving into Gemini, we may find that we need more in terms of we need more variety in our relationships. We need more stimulation. We need more shared activities, and we may find that in our most committed relationships, we desire to have a more intellectual approach. We may feel like we need to be talking more, sharing ideas, engaging in stimulating conversation in order to keep the relationship going, because communication is a cornerstone of any relationship, whether it be romantic, friendship, business, anything like that. Communication is a core component of it. So Juno passing through Gemini will be highlighting this to us. It's about recognising the need to communicate as clearly as we can. It's about listening to one another. So if we're always talking, it may be time to start listening in our relationships, whatever the nature of that relationship may be. And it's about being prepared to embrace variety and engage in more shared activities that promote mental stimulation, which is a key element of Gemini, is the need for constant mental stimulation in order for it to be learning. So it's embracing more curiosity in relationship, seeking to understand one another better through opening up more communication channels with one another, opening up new ways of thinking and ways of communicating. But fundamentally, it's important that we be honest with one another and we honour each other's personal needs in relationships. So there's a fair amount taking place this week, but if there's one theme to kind of highlight, it is about it's primarily about the mind, if you like, and also its impact on our actions. So we need to be prepared to expand our level of understanding. We need to be prepared to push the borders of our understanding, or the limits of understanding, much further. And we also need to be willing to embrace a more intuitive level of perception. And it's also making sure that our actions are guided by higher willpower, and that we seek to harness that natural will and drive of Mars and guide it with wisdom, so that we pursue courses of action that will allow us to grow and allow us to embrace new levels of insight and new levels of self-understanding, and to be prepared or be willing to embody it as well. So I hope this is a useful guide for the week. It might bring you many new insights and many opportunities for growth. Take care and be blessed.